is Fru Nkimben. I am here with someone with no introduction, Comrade Herbert. Comrade, I will tell you that you are blessed with a wonderful voice.
Thank you, Comrade Kimben.
So the purpose of this short interview is that by our people we believe that a child has to crawl, stand up, fall, stumble, then get up and walk again, and soon that child starts walking and will be running. I believe that you, the frontline leaders, you've also gone through those steps. And the recent unity that you people have displayed coming together and calling the Ambazonian people and you leaders to unite and see how we can go forward is very, very encouraging. And that encourages me to ask all of you frontline leaders that to share a little bit of what it took you guys to come together and how do we work together to go forward. And at the same time to address our people in the diaspora and also send a message to our people on the ground. So I will at this point ask Comrade Herbert to speak to the people.
Well, thank you very much, Comrade. We're here in Washington at the All Southern Cameroon People's Conference. This has been a great initiative. It shows the extent to which any Southern Cameroonian can do something in this revolution. And where prejudice about people and giving people names is not helpful. We have to believe in the power of our people to ask from God and receive the miracle of discernment and the possibility to bring our people together. This is what has happened at this conference. Unfortunately, we are not all of us here. So one thing we believe has happened is that the process has begun to put together a unified collaborative platform which is open to everyone. It is being built as a big tent. Now, the reason it's being rebuilt or is being built anew is that maybe we went too fast the last time we started. Maybe there was not enough trust. Certainly there was not enough trust. Certainly there was not enough confidence building measures that were put in place. And so because of that lack of trust, we didn't really grow the house. We kind of moved forward and built the second floor of the house when the cement on the foundation and the lower floor had not even set. And so we are hoping that what we have started now, where we are going to build from the ground up and where we are going to try to look for the low-hanging fruit, we're going to start with the small things, just making sure that the leaders are talking to each other, just making sure that our people are exchanging notes, making sure that our people can see us frequently together, because some of these problems happen because people are too far apart. But the other recognition is that there is no gift in any one person, including frontline leaders, that other Ambazonians don't have. So this is an invitation for all Ambazonians to hold our feet to the fire, to instruct those they consider their leaders to do the right thing, to call them out when they believe that they're not doing the right thing, to ensure that the accountability and transparency that is needed to bring our people together works, to realize that the world is waiting for us to show that we have unity in purpose so that they can engage us in a manner that allows us to get to the separation that we want to achieve from this doomed experiment at colonization or recolonization that has been ongoing for more than 100 years. Speaking to Ambazonians in the diaspora, I would say you have shown great resilience and great support for our people on the ground. You have tried to put your money where your mouth is, supporting what's going on the ground, supporting our people as they fight for survival. We must continue. There's a reason why we are here and not back home. We cannot be disconnected from whatever is going back at home because it's happening to our people. So we must find bigger, more impactful ways of reaching our people of helping back there and supporting the work that's going on down there and relieving them of the pain that they're going through. Now, to talk to our people on the ground, I'd say we are blessed to have you on the ground. We are blessed to have Amber boys who have put their lives on the line to defend our people. It's unfortunate that a government that only believes in repression, in war crimes and in genocide has visited a war upon our people and have put you in a situation where you are left with no choice than to try to defend your people. We realize that the resources with which you do this at this moment are limited resources. And so some of the things that we have said very openly to the international community, including, for instance, to the US government, is that you have funded people on their path to liberation before. Our people deserve no less support from a country whose history we are copying and proudly copying. This is a country that decided we're going to break away from that British Empire. They declared their independence the same way we have proclaimed ours. So we follow in your footsteps, O great America. And we realize that although there is pain in our land, it is on the blood of heroes like the ones in the United States that a beautiful country was born in this United States of America. And we say to our people who are dying in the forefront, we say we thank you for your sacrifice. We say to our people who are suffering in the bushes, who are sheltering in the forest, we tell you we thank you for your sacrifice. For people in jail, we say we thank you for your sacrifice. But also we say that we reassure you that we will never let you down, that we'll continue to fight, we'll continue to knock on all doors to ensure that we go to the last man standing, but that our people get to the victory we deserve. On your blood, on your sweat, on the limbs that you lose on the ground, on the years that you spend in prison, and the years that you spend in refugee camps, or months, hopefully days, that you have left in refugee camps, we will build that powerful, successful Ambazonia, a land of milk and honey.
You heard it from Comrade Bo, but I will not actually close this without asking you to share your views about Ambazonians who are in the diaspora, just in their comfort zone with a keyboard. They send out, I would say, some sort of divisive and negative messages. Because I believe that anything not constructive is destructive to our cause. And I believe that if you don't have anything to say which is positive that can help enhance our struggle, it's better not to say it and say something that can destroy our struggle. And secondly, I would also want you to have listened to Ambazonian Calling. You have spoken about our leaders in jail. Maybe this is an opportunity to say something about them and let the world know about them.
Okay, as you know, I'm a journalist by training. So one of the things that I fight and die for is freedom of expression, freedom of opinion. And it's my support for everybody who wants to say what they want to say, who have to put their views without fear of threat, no matter whether I don't like those views or I like them. And what I would love for all Ambazonians to do is to build thick skin for what will happen. We will not agree, even if we were the children of the same mother and the same father, we will not agree on everything. Our people, in preparation of the beautiful democratic Ambazonia that we are going to build, our people need to show maturity in accepting that people have different views. We have gone back and pointed out that our forefathers, who did not have our education, did not have our exposure, demonstrated political maturity of the highest order when they met in Mamfe, bringing together people who wanted independence, people who were in favor of joining Nigeria, and people who were in favor of joining La Republique. And they debated and voted. This is the beautiful Ambazonia we need to go back to. A place where people can say things to you, even things that hurt you, and you say, okay, it's their political view. It is their view. It may be harmful in the sense that you're thinking, oh, this really hurt my feelings. But democracy is a very messy thing. It really consists of asking our people to speak up. So what I will say to them is that as you speak up, think about, could I be more helpful to this revolution? Could I be more helpful and supportive of the good initiative that exists? But please do not
close your mouths over the evil. If you see evil, you need to speak up, because if you don't, it will destroy our revolution. Covering it up will not. You know, when you know that something is stinking in your house, you need to take out the trash. If you don't take it out, you're not going to be able to live in that house. So that's what I would say about freedom of expression. I'll say something else with respect to the leaders, which was your request. The leaders in jail are our big heroes. Are big heroes for what has happened to them, for the pain that they endure. And that goes back to the Mancho BBCs. I'm not just talking about the Naira 10, the Talaba people that were moved out, but I'm saying every one of them, everyone in jail is in jail for unjustified reasons. They are in jail in a foreign land by a tyranny that is trying to colonize our people and that has no right to hold them. And they are being held and subjugated to this indignation because of the lack of action on the part of the international community. All of our leaders who were in Nigeria were under the protection of the United Nations. I am still to this day to see a resolution from the United Nations asking that those people who were under UN protection should be returned to the protection of the United Nations. I've heard the court ruling. This is the court standing up where the UN cannot stand up. The UN should be able to request that these refugees be returned. Now, if they don't, and until now the UN has not done it, it is the equivalent of beating back the Jews who were running away from the Holocaust under Hitler, beating them back into the gas chambers. It is the equivalent of chasing back Tutsis who were going into Democratic Republic of Congo to flee the genocide in Rwanda, chasing them back to be killed by the Hutu in Taramwe. This is criminal on the part of the United Nations and on the part of the world, especially because they committed after the Holocaust to the Never Again Pledge, and also because after the 1994 genocide in Rwanda and the 1995 massacres of Bosnia, they committed in 2005 within the United Nations to a principle called the responsibility to protect. That responsibility to protect and prevent genocide and atrocity crimes should apply in Cameroon today, and Cameroon should have no right to sovereignty, because the government of Cameroon has proven not only that they themselves are leading these mass atrocities, but that they are unable to stop it and incapable of stopping it. And so, with the partnership that they have formed with France, the world should now disregard any sovereignty that Cameroon claims over any part of territory. In any case, they have no sovereignty over Ambazonia. And if they are looking for permission, our leaders here give them permission to go into Ambazonia and provide protection for our people and create a buffer zone between Ambazonia and La République du Cameroun, and create a demilitarized zone and post peacekeepers and monitors to make sure that these atrocities are recorded, because the Biya regime needs to end up before the International Criminal Court and end up the same way like Hitler and his lieutenants had to end up in front of the Nuremberg Tribunal.
Thank you. You heard it from Comrade Bo Herbert. But I would like to echo what you said. Freedom of speech. I may hate what you say. I may not like what you say, but I will defend your right to say it.
That's absolutely. I mean, our forefathers showed it to us. The Fonchas, the Munas, the Endeles went around in villages in the same Land Rover, campaigning on the same soapbox and telling our people it's democracy, go out there and vote. We had the most beautiful thing in Africa before Ghana even became independent. We were already practicing it, and it is one of the reasons why the founding president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, returned his first trip out of his country. He went to Ambazonia to see these people who had already experimented with democracy.
Multipartism.
Multipartism. And this beautiful thing was completely destroyed by a monster regime that absolutely wants nothing but to turn our people into slaves. And in this age and in this time, after having endured it under Nigeria and then endured it under La République du Cameroun, our people can take it no more.
Thank you very much, sir.
My name is Michael. I have one issue to raise with the leadership. If you are reassuring us now, we need more than that. Because the type of slander that one has read in social media from individual members is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable, because we are giving fodder to the guys in their own name. So they must we have to come to a situation where there is some pledge signed. We want to discuss ideas among you, not personalities.
That's right.
We're not moving back to my last comment is that I spent 2 years, 8 months in Yaoundé when I came back from Britain and left. It was because I concluded that these peers and all these are not the people taking decisions in Cameroon. And my career has reinforced that in every country where I've worked. It doesn't matter if Benin was our neighbor or Cote d'Ivoire was our neighbor. The behavior will be the same. There is a French plan of assimilation that started off in 1962. Secondly, they have a system of buying up donors. You must have heard the Suba of the Congo ended up in exile in London. How did it happen? The Suba doesn't know London, but it ended up there because deals were made.
Yes.
We have to be on the watch out and understand that beer is only a puppet on the string. The decisions are being taken by the people who are behind the curtain. And the moment we forget that, we will then move into all arguments about, oh, we are underrepresented, we are this. That is not the issue. The two systems are totally incompatible, whether legally, educationally. They have decided to take over our lands, go to every major town in southern Cameroon. The lands and surveys department is in the hands of Frankfurt, and they are dishing out land. So this is something we have to think about.
We are here at the Sheraton Hotel in Baltimore, and I am sitting here with Comrade John Mbah Akoruh. He needs no introduction. He is a firebrand of the struggle, and so without wasting too much time, I would also like to commend you for what you have done in the struggle back at home and here in the diaspora. And I think that by our norms and the norms of nature, a child has to crawl, get up, stumble, get up, and then one day he will walk. And it's along those journeys that our struggles too, we in the diaspora as well as at home, and you guys, the front leaders, you would also believe with me that you have stumbled, woke up, not given up, hold hands, stumbled, fought, and thought that it is good, that unity is power. And for us to see all of you united at this conference, it gives us hope that finally we are about to walk and then run. What do you hope to accomplish from now going forth, sir?
Well, let me begin first of all by thanking you for the personal sacrifice that you have put in to ensure too, by coming all the way from your base to this beautiful hotel to make sure that you're part of this event. I think by your presence, you contributed enormously to make it successful. And I want to say that after this conference, it is now crystal clear in the eyes, in the minds, and the views of the members of the international organizations and other international stakeholders who took part of this conference that the people of Southern Cameroon overwhelmingly stand for one thing and only one thing, which is total self-determination. We tried the federal experience, it did not work. And so we have rejected another trial, because for over 58 years, we have done everything to manage that experience. Like sometimes you tell a suffering housewife to do everything to make her marriage work. We have done all that and it hasn't worked. And so I think that we have made our case clear before the international community that we are not ready to engage that experience anymore. We had a good talk. Everybody was here. The Federalists sat through. Those who stand for one Cameroon sat through. Those of us who stand for total self-determination sat through. And at the end of the day, the people saw, the world saw that over 98% of those who were present, after listening to all the presentations, feel that we are done with the Republic to Cameroon and we have to go our separate ways. And now, on the sidelines of this, going to the question you asked, yes, we of the frontline organizations find it necessary to, born again together, because that one of the issues or one of the things the enemy has been using against us has been the misunderstandings that have reigned in our ranks all this while. They always claimed and used as an excuse to run away from negotiations about the terms of separation by claiming they don't know who to talk to. So this is an opportunity for us to present a united front to the world. And so we have reviewed the past experiences. You heard Comrades Akoruh say yesterday that we noticed that in the past we apparently started building from the top. And so this time we decided to work on the foundation. And we've heard a lot of backdoor sessions even as we just started preparing for this conference. And so we have put in place a foundation we consider much more solid this time around. And we say we wouldn't just want to be talking about these things. We are putting in place at the same time, or we are actualizing a unique treasury to finance the struggle for all the organizations. I'm sure you got that announcement yesterday.
Powerful.
The framework document, or the MOU, will be out for everyone to see. And what is certain is that we know within our organizations, there are some people who are going to try to oppose within our various organizations. There are some people who feel that their personal interests have been touched, and so they must rupture this because they have personal interests to protect in this revolution. The clarion call we are sending out is we are calling on the people of Southern Cameroon to help us make this union work, to help us make this memorandum of understanding framework to go operational, to help us make it stay, and to help us make it help in pushing the struggle forward. The truth in this whole thing is, why people say that we are doing something which is a deja vu and that they are not sure it's going to last, they fail to understand that too often they are the reason that those initiatives don't last. This time we are calling on the members of each of our organizations concerned to take note that the most important interest to focus on here is the interest of the people of Ambazonia and not on our individual interests. There are some people who already think that they have acquired positions, which positions they must protect, and I ask myself, positions where, in what, and to what ends when our people are still in the forest who don't control 1 inch of land on our territory. Okay, we have to forget about this and focus on taking back our territory. Once that is done, those who are interested in politics will be able to vie and get positions. For now, let us focus on freeing our people.
Wonderful. That's powerful. And I totally agree with you that unless we are free unless we have freedom, then we'll have peace to be able to reason and talk well. So on this note, I have another question. I would like you to address the people in the diaspora as well as our people on the ground. And also, personally, my heart goes to our people on the ground because they are the ones who pay the ultimate price by losing names and with their blood. But us in the diaspora, I would also like you to touch on the aspect of negativity, which all of us are guilty about. How can we do, because right now we have turned a new page. This clarion call that all of you have worked so hard. How can we, what is your message to the diaspora, and as well as to our people on ground zero going forward?
Yeah, let me begin with our people on ground zero, especially to our self-defense forces. One thing I want to say is they must understand they are the ones carrying the weapons. They are the ones bearing the brunt. They are the ones, handling the show on the ground. But they must understand that the successes that have scored this far is because of the cooperation of the same civilian Southern Cameroonians that they are fighting to protect. And so, the cohesion, agreement, love and concord that will exist between them and among them is what is going to give us the freedom we are looking for. If the people feel betrayed by their self-defense forces, that sometimes they turn back on them in terms of kidnapping for ransom, because there are few who appear to engage in that practice. If they feel that they turn against them in terms of extorting from them, if they feel that they are abusing them, these people may decide to take side with the enemy out of desperation. And so, they would have lost a wonderful ally in their own people. I know our people have done a wonderful job so far assisting these restoration forces. Women have taken turns to cook food and send to them. Sometimes they have donated food. Sometimes they have donated all forms of things to help them. They should in turn ensure the protection of these people. They should create safe corridors for some of these mothers who want at least to farm, to ensure that in the next seasons there will be food. They should provide protective corridors for them. They should reign that kind of atmosphere that when people sit in the community and they suspect that the enemy is coming, they should easily know who to touch, and the restoration forces will come over to protect them. That kind of atmosphere needs to reign among them so that we are certain that our backs are covered. If their backs are covered, there will be greater efficiency. That's the first thing. Secondly, one thing too I would like the restoration forces to know is that success lies in general coordination. If people believe that because I'm in this local government area and we have plenty of resources and all whatnot, we cannot do anything with the people of the other local government area, let their own people in the diaspora to send them resources. When they're attacking it, it will be disaster. We need full cooperation among the restoration forces to ensure success. They need cooperation, coordination, and everything. They should share material, share intelligence, share knowledge on how to be able to attack the enemy.
Yes.
So these are the things that will guarantee our success. And then now on to the diaspora. The diaspora is doing a tremendous job. I want honestly to congratulate all our people in the diaspora who have taken sometimes extra jobs just to be able to contribute to our IDPs, just to be able to contribute to help these guys who have picked up self-defense to be able to stay the fight, to continue to hold the fort. I want to congratulate all of them. But then there is another thing that is happening in the diaspora right now, which appears to mitigate some of these benefits, to mitigate some of these wonderful efforts. This issue of blackmail, this issue of of calumny and name calling and what have you. La République du Cameroon has a lot of agents in about all our forums. They will always play the role of agent provocateur. They will cast conspiracy theories, and they know that they will have some of our activists who unsuspectingly will actually see that no, but these concerns are genuine, and they transform that into their town cry. And they don't realize how much harm they are causing to the revolution. You see, for example, this conference that is ending here today. I'm sure you heard a lot of conspiracy theories on social media about this conference. Even as we unfolded on the first day and everything went on smoothly, everyone was like, oh wow, I didn't know this is what it is. Some extremely negative minds still found room to look only for the things that they need to criticize, that they need to insult about the conference. We have to change that mindset. We have to be each other's keeper. We have to know that in order for us to succeed, we rather need to close ranks than breaking ourselves. Yes, I remember someone said in revolutions, you don't build bridges, you burn them. You burn bridges with the enemy. You don't burn bridges among yourselves. You don't blow up bridges among yourselves. You need the bridges among yourselves to enable you overcome the enemy.
Unity is power.
You understand what I'm saying? So these are things that we need to take care of. And if we take care of this, we will be able to overcome. In this same diaspora, if our activists don't put their minds together, rather to report positive and encouraging news about the platform we have just created, about the Southern Cameroon's Liberation Council, they will cause us soon to get broken up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And again to frustrate the initiative because their plan is to see it fail. So they say, I said it. You said it, so what? Does it translate into victory on ground zero? You must ask yourself that question. And if you ask yourself that question and the answer is not in the affirmative, desist from doing that kind of thing. We don't pretend to be perfectionists. We need support from our people for any initiative we cast to succeed.
Thank you very much. You heard that from Comrade Mbah Akoruh. And I would tell my viewers that I am interviewing all the front-line leaders because I believe that we need to listen to them. They may have different view, but I, as a Southern Cameroonian, my function is for us to listen, because it's not listening that we draw negative conclusions. And this purpose is for you to hear from them, because I have the privilege to talk with them, and I can feel that the only enemy is La République. And I feel that, as they say in the village, a quiet house is an empty house. So we have to have differences, but we must agree when we go out. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.